Good evening, folks.
I'm James.
And I'm Jeff. This evening, we're doing a review on a Garmin 64SX GPS handheld unit. I bought this at Cabela's, and I bought it for $279.99 plus tax. Excuse me. And that was on sale. It's regular $479.99, I believe. I bought it for hunting purposes.
$450 right now.
$450? Yeah, so $450, $479. I bought it for hunting purposes, to track my path in and path out, and to set my waypoints for spots that I find. I personally could have went with an E-Trex 10, which James has here. That model there is pretty much, I'm pretty sure it's like the lowest you can go for Garmin. Not 100%.
That would be lowest now.
That's the lowest? Okay. So that's the lowest that you can go. So I got the GPS. It's a mid-range GPS without the mid-range price. So I'm just going to show you here first how you take the back off. So this is where your batteries are going to be. It takes 2 AA batteries, so you can put rechargeables in it, but I don't run rechargeables. I just run the alkalines. They also talk about running the lithium AA batteries, which is supposed to give you a better lifetime, which could possibly be what they were referring to with their testing. Where
they claim 16 hours. Do you know if that is with the
I'm not 100%, but it probably is.
Yeah, because it didn't say in the specs. It just said 16 hours claimed.
Right. I imagine they would use the higher line batteries for...
I prefer they tell me what it's going to be with a regular set of batteries and break it down.
Yeah, well...
But you've had 8 hours?
Yes. Yeah, so they claim 16 hours. I would say it's more like 8, honestly. That's being out in the cold. We're talking like the fall into January. Even though it's been a mild January, it's still, we've had some damp days. It's in my pocket as well, because I don't have, you can actually order the attachment that slides onto the back here and clicks in place, and it has a little, what are they called there?
Oh, for the lanyard clip?
Yeah. There's like the little clip there that you can clip on your belt loop or what have you. And so I keep it in my pocket because I don't have that yet. So that's in my pocket with the zipper up. Other stuff probably, you know, over top of the antenna, whatever. So it's trying to get a signal. I don't know how much that affects it. Maybe some of you guys would know that. I don't. So anyhow, we're going to pull the back off here. So you just twist counterclockwise. There's a little tab there. You twist it. Put half a turn. Pops off. And you got your batteries here. So I'm running 2 AA batteries. So we're going to pop those out for a second. I'm going to show you.
And this is IPX7 rated. And you can actually see there's a gasket around the battery compartment, which is a nice feature. So when you're in the woods, that's a major concern anyway, is getting caught in the rain and worrying about electronics.
It is.
Which are not cheap.
Yeah, big time. Because I found myself a lot of times when I'm pulling this out to look at my coordinates or my waypoints or whatever, I find myself a lot of times like trying to shelter the screen and stuff because I'm paranoid that I'm going to get water down inside somehow. Which also, you can order, another thing folks, is I ordered screen protectors off of Amazon, and they're made for this unit. So you just search Garmin GPS 64SX screen protector, and I believe it's tempered glass. So it's tempered glass screen protector, and it works well, it goes on perfect, it's a good alignment. I would definitely recommend that.
One thing about it is, when I first used it, I kind of complained about the screen not being touchscreen, but when you talk about rain, when I'm using the phone, which I was using it yesterday in the rain, once you get phone or water on a phone screen, your touches will be off. The water messes with that, so you got to dry the screen off to get your touches. So with that, you're not going to run that issue because you're using the buttons.
Yeah.
So in that case, it's actually better.
More rugged, like.
Yeah, it's better having the buttons when using it in the rain.
Mm-hmm. So in the back, you got your batteries, obviously, like I just said, and then right here is your micro SD card slot, and this there's a little tab there, right? And it has little arrows that says open and lock. Open, you slide it this way, and it pops up. Put your card in, and push it back down, and then you push it that way to lock it. Okay? So, we'll put the batteries back in it here. Make sure I got them going the right way. Nice tight fit for the batteries too, I will say that. A lot of times you get stuff, it's all sloppy. You can hear these click in, like, nice click, right? So, to put this back on, you got a little notch here, and a little hole here. And you know what to do with that. Stick it in the hole. Give her a little push down, you'll hear it click. Turn it clockwise, push the tab down. She's good to go. Power button's on the side. You just tap it. It's powering up. So while we're waiting for that to power up and get a satellite signal, just want to show you another little thing that I got for it. Amazon, of course. It's a little neoprene case, silicone case, sorry. And I think it was like $7 or $8. It wasn't that much. It's a pretty good deal. It's nothing crazy. It's not like an OtterBox or anything. That'd be cool, but it's not. It's flimsy, whatever. It's nice and flexible. But it does add a bit of protection to the side, scraping through the bush and stuff. Your screen's not getting smacked with branches. The side of it's not getting smacked. It keeps it a bit warmer. A little bit more water resistant.
And that is up and running too, just so they know.
There you go. Okay, so it's acquired a satellite signal. So now that I've showed you this, I'm just going to put it back on right quick. Get that out of the way. And it just slides on there. What's some other things, some other specs with this, James?
You got 2.6 inch screen, color screen as well, which on the eTrex 10, it's a 2.2 and it's not a color screen. I actually prefer the color screen and nice and bright as well. Obviously the 16 hour claimed battery life, 8 gigabyte internal storage, and then you got the expandable storage with the SD slot, IPX7 rating. Then if you step up a model, you can get some other features like temperature sensors and heart rate. But for this model here, it is missing those features.
But what is the IPX7? Like, what's that mean?
You can do 1 meter underwater for 30 minutes.
That's pretty good.
So
that's pretty good.
So, I mean, walking in the rain, you should never have issue. I mean, if you're going to have issues in that, you have other problems.
You need Noah's Ark. A meter of rain, but you need Noah's Ark. So the Garmin, I'm assuming they all run off it, but the Garmin GPSs, they run off of 2 different satellites. So they run off the GLONASS system, which is Russian. It's Russian satellites, which primarily is better in mountain applications. And then they got Galileo, which is European, which is better for urban applications. And I will say, I can pull it up here somewhere. Just trying to remember where. Right here. So there's your GPS signal. Slam full bars, right? It's got great signal. It shows you your battery life right there in bars. And you got your backlight, so you can make it dimmer or you make it brighter, right? You just keep clicking the power button. So my initial impression on this GPS is there is a lot to learn with it. I don't know how to use it all yet. I'm still learning. I find the instructions that came with it very vague. I've had to go on YouTube a lot and read about the functions in different forums on how to use them. Primarily for me, like I said, I bought it for waypoints and tracking. So as soon as you turn it on, you start walking, it's tracking you, right? So I don't have to choose a function for that. To mark your waypoints, there's a button here that just says mark. So you click that, and then I'll show you. It brings up like a little section here for note, and you can type in whatever you want. So say, James's Garage, and you can put that instead of number 17, you can just put James's Garage, and then you click done, right? Use your arrows and then obviously enter, and you click done. So when you do that, it shows up as a little flag on your map here. Yeah, so you just click on the flag, you move your little cursor to the flag, get it on top of it, it'll highlight it and say like number or whatever. So you just click that, and then it'll pop up and it'll say go to. You click that, and then it'll automatically show you like a purple line back to there. And you just follow your cursor, your arrow, on that direction. Just keep, if you got to turn, you just turn. Get on a line with that line, the purple line, and just follow it. Bring you right up from where you started. So me, myself, I always mark the vehicle, like when I go hunting, I call it truck. I always mark it as truck, right? And then I have the confidence in this now that I don't even have to look. Would be a good idea to still mark your bearing if you know how to use a compass properly. Shoot an azimuth, you know. That way you can always resort back to that. Now that being said, not all compasses are 100% accurate, so get a good compass. That's something you definitely don't want to cheap out on in the woods. And learn how to use that compass. But this one has a digital compass, so, excuse me, we can go to the compass function here. And it's got a digital compass. This has you have to calibrate it, right? So I calibrate it every time before I go into the woods, just so I know, peace of mind, it's going to be on, right? Yeah, so I have the confidence in this thing now that I can mark truck, walk into the woods, no problem at all. I know I'll come back out. I've tested it multiple times. While you're in the woods, I was hunting with my father this year, and he has a special permit. He's allowed to hunt from the car now because his legs are all messed up. So he hunts from the car, and he was parked off in a chopping, and I went in to the left of him, and I made sure I was in there like a good distance. I was facing away from him, the direction which I'd be shooting. And I decided to pull up the GPS. I was like, I wonder if it would tell me how far away I am from my father. So I pulled it out, and I'm scrolling with the arrows, and I go to where I marked his car, and it told me 272 yards.
Nice.
So it actually tells you the distance. So you can, if you're wondering, how far am I from that road? You have to be a certain distance from a road to hunt in Nova Scotia anyhow. I don't know what any other provinces or what the laws are there, but Nova Scotia, you got to be a certain distance from certain roads, schools, you know, all those things. It's safety. So, you know, if you're like, geez, I wonder how far I am from that road, but that's a really nice hunting spot, I'd like to get in there, or, you know, I'd like to go hiking over there, but how far do I have to cut in through the bush? You just pull up the GPS.
Another reason that'd be good is if you know how long roughly you take to walk a certain distance, you look at it and you can start planning out, because you got to plan too for your water. I've been back in the woods and hiking and ran low on water and got dehydrated. It was a huge issue. But with that, you know how far you are and get back to your vehicle. Yeah. And you can make better decisions with that.
Absolutely. Another thing, I've never done it. I do want to do it, but I've never done it. James has done it. Geocaches. This one here, you can go on Garmin. I believe you probably downloaded through, what's it called? Garmin Express. Garmin Express.
You should be able to do, well, we should check that, but you might be able to do it with that. Now that's the same thing you do with this, but I believe I did it with the geocaching website, downloaded the waypoints from there, and then loaded them from the computer onto the eTrack 10.
Yeah.
And use that. Now this was a gift years ago for me, for my kids, from a friend, but normally for geocaching I'd use my phones. I've used multiple phones. Actually, I haven't geocached on this new S22 Ultra yet, but I have with my BlackBerry Z10 and other Samsung phones. But I've compared it to the eTrack, and there is actually at times I've used both to get to a cache, but I'm excited to get out and try the 64 and see what that is like searching for a geocache.
Yeah, and like I say, it's been accurate as far as tracking stuff. Mm-hmm. So I imagine it'll be great for that. I just haven't downloaded that yet. Actually, I just bought a new laptop the other week, and the reason being is because my other one is too old. It wouldn't. You have to make sure, guys, for updating this, it requires specific operating features with your computer for Garmin Express, what you need to update your maps, download new maps, etc. So I had to buy a whole new laptop, because for me to buy all the new programs and stuff, it would have cost me almost as much as a new laptop probably. So I just said I was going to buy a new laptop.
Yeah, and see, I wish It'd be nicer if you could connect Wi-Fi through Wi-Fi, connect to Garmin on its own, and then download right to the device. Be a nice feature, but
yeah, and maybe you can. Maybe some way you can do that. This does have Bluetooth connection, so you can connect to your mobile phone, other Bluetooth capable devices you can connect to. I can connect to my laptop with this. I never tried my TV. That would be cool. If I can connect this to my TV somehow, because it's a smart TV, so you can go on the internet with it. I wonder if somehow you get like Google Maps. I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that I've always said. James brought up a good point. We were talking about this earlier. Is I feel like for the year that we're in, 2023, the technology we have out there, we can put a man on the moon. Okay, we can see pictures of the moon with the man on the moon and his boot print, but we can't have the imagery on these GPSs like Google Earth. I feel like you have Google Earth Pro. I feel like we should have that kind of imagery. Here's the kind of imagery that's on this. It's not terrible.
I'll bring that up in close up too.
Yeah, but it's not the best, right? So, I just downloaded North American Topo Active Maps because I just got my new laptop, so I downloaded Garmin Express. No issues with this new laptop because it has all the requirements. So I downloaded Garmin Express, plugged my laptop or my GPS into my laptop, and as soon as I plugged it in, Garmin Express brought it up and said, "Boom, North American Topo Active Maps update." I think it took 42 minutes for it to do the update, which is fine because before that, it took about 3 to 4 minutes for this to acquire satellites when you turn it on.
Okay.
And now with this update, it's instant. As soon as you turn it on, it was right there. It had full signal, and I have the Topo Active Maps now, which you can enable in the settings. You can enable, you put different maps on it and enable them and disable them. So like you get your base map, base North American map, and then you can enable North American Topo Active, etc. There's other ones like European stuff. I don't need any of that because I'm never going to Europe. Not in this, not anytime soon anyway.
Never know. See what happens to the channel.
Yeah, there you go. So, so I just got the Topo Active North American maps enabled. You can go on and custom make your own maps. There's all kinds of options, guys.
It would be nice to have satellite, but at the same time, you can use the satellite on your phone. Mm-hmm. I think getting the satellite images might be too much memory-wise, and also getting a connection to download those maps. But they are beneficial. I was actually on a hike, had to find a base, but I had to find that trail to get to. There was multiple small trails, low bush, and I used satellite imagery to find the actual trail to get to the fort that I want to film. So they are helpful.
Absolutely. One other thing that I missed here, I talked about the micro SD card. I have a 64 gigabyte one in here. You can put 128, 32 gigabyte, whatever you want to put in, whatever you can afford.
I don't know if they have a limit on that.
I think it's whatever you want to put in. But it's whatever you can afford, whatever you want to put in. Without the micro SD, the GPS itself only has an 8 gigabyte internal storage, which that's not very much,
But now, does it tell you how much memory you use so far with your Topo maps?
I believe so. When I had it plugged into the computer, I think it told me.
Do you know how much space you had left?
Don't remember. I know there's probably a function to get into that. Like I said, I've just been doing the basics with this so far. The compass, the maps. You can do your elevation point. Like right now, we're 234 feet above sea level. That's pretty cool. That's helpful sometimes to know.
What'd you say we're 240?
232.
232.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, just looking at the specs here, it does say that nickel metal hydride or lithium is recommended. So that might be where they're getting the 16 hour from is the lithium.
Yeah.
Because now, obviously, that would be your highest power.
And that's what I figured, because when they test anything, including vehicles in factory conditions, they got the ultimate conditions, right? So when you get a car that says 7.3 liters per 100 kilometers or whatever, that's tested in a lab, like in a factory condition with the absolute perfect conditions, right? Temperature, air, all that. So that's what I was thinking. Like lithium battery, they're going to use the best to get the best result. I just cheaped out. Didn't want to spend the money on the lithium batteries. Can you blame me? They're expensive.
I would go the nickel metal hydride route, so you can recharge them. And one thing I would recommend is always having a backup set of batteries, because you never know what's going to happen. If you happen to get extra drain on that battery, you'd want to have it. But another thing that wouldn't be bad for backup is having an app on your phone that has it, and make sure it's updated and working, and make sure it's one that works without satellite signal if you're out of satellite range, or sorry, cell tower range. It's because it's good to have that backup.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're constantly bringing an item out to check GPS when you're going through, my phone is about 4 times the price of that unit, so that would be nicer to pull out rather than just take that phone out every single time with that big screen that you could risk dropping.
Absolutely. And you know, like there's a couple more things here, guys. It has the features as hunt and fish, and it'll actually tell you. You can scroll through on the calendar to different days, different, you know, like the 19th, the 20th, whatever. So what's today? Today is what?
21st.
21st. So we'll go to today. So today it says the best times, and it says a good day actually for hunting and fishing. It says the best times would be 11:02 to 1:02, 11:24 to 1:24 a.m.
So you still got time.
And good time from 4:51 a.m. to 5:51 a.m. and 5:13 p.m. to 6:13 p.m. So to tell you good times and your best times for that day, which is pretty cool. I haven't tested that out. I do definitely want to test that.
Yeah, we gotta go fishing anyway, so we gotta check that out.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to test it for rabbit hunting too. That'd be cool.
Yeah, no rabbit hunt. We're gonna check that out for fishing.
The other thing was before. I mean, obviously, compass have a like for your backup, but always mark your coordinates. So like when you're going in to the woods, mark your coordinates, mark them down, take a picture with your cell phone, whatever, and just send them to a friend, family member, whatever. Because then they know exactly where you went in the woods at. So if something happens to you, they know where to start searching. Right? You should absolutely do that every time. Every time I go in the woods, I've even sent James them before. I sent him pictures of where I started to go in, and I sent him my coordinates. I said, if you can't get a hold of me, or if you don't hear from me by this time or something, here's my coordinates.
Yeah, you should let someone know when you're going in and when you plan on coming out, and that time should be based on if you had issues. The time I was dehydrated in the woods, I told my wife when I'd be out, and I almost had to crawl out of the woods, but I was out within 10 to 20 minutes of my, okay, this is a problem time. So it's good to let someone know.
Yeah. Another feature, talking about compasses, this has a feature like a setting, it's Sight and Go, it's called. So with Sight and Go, you point in the direction you're going in, so shooting your azimuth essentially, and you can lock the direction. So if you lock that direction you're going in, come back out the exact opposite, and it should put you right on your right path, right? So that's a pretty cool feature. The next model, I believe it's the next model up from this one. It's called the 64 CSX. This is the SX. We're talking the CSX now. That one has an 8 megapixel camera. Okay, so you can take pictures, which allows you to geotag your pictures as well. You can add on, what are they, sensors or something?
Yeah, so the heart rate, temperature. Temperature would actually be nice. Whether or not it's needed or not, I think it'd just be a nice feature to have. 8 megapixel camera, it might be good to show someone more information than just a map. So maybe there's a tree, rock, or something to help them find that location, to know they're there also, just in case. Other than that, you can geotag pictures from your phone. So I don't know if I'd pay extra for that feature alone. There might be other reasons why that camera would be good. But other than taking pictures of say a fork in the road, so you know, okay, this is the way I'm going, and so they had visuals as well. Other than that, I don't know why you'd want a camera on it. And at 8 megapixels, it's quite low. So I mean, that's not that bad. Depends. I just can't. I don't see it having a great image sensor. So
when you're talking about technology today, like a cell phone with the megapixels that they carry for the camera,
yeah, like this here is 4 cameras in it. My phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there might be a reason. I want to look that up, but.
And keep in mind, it's a GPS. It's not a camera. It's not a phone.
Right.
What are you buying it for? Take pictures. Go buy a camera. Right. People like me, like myself, you know, I wouldn't use the camera function, so that means absolutely nothing to me. Which is another reason I didn't buy that model. You spend an extra money for no reason. I wasn't going to use any of the add-ons, the heart rate monitor, the temp. My Garmin watch does my heart rate. Right. I don't need anything else. The other thing that I really like about this is if you're in the woods, you know, you're wondering what time sunset's going to be, right? I do that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because you're allowed to shoot a certain time past light or whatever, right? So you want to know what time sunset's going to be. Well, this thing's going to tell you right in here. It tells you sunrise, sunset, moonrise, and moonset. That's pretty cool. I like that feature myself.
That feature's nice. I went hiking on Cape Split, and we were hoping to get sunset at Cape Split, so right at the end of it. So it would be good to know what time you need to be there. Obviously, be there ahead of time to set up your cameras, but also knowing that when you leave, because it's quite wooded, so you want to know how much time you have to get out and whether or not you're going out in the dark. Leaving the woods in the dark, because obviously you need flashlights and so on, which I'm using my light on my phone to get out because we've got the flashlight. Yeah. So make sure you have your gear with you.
Yeah. So it also shows you the satellites and the signal strength. So that's all the satellites it's getting the signal from. That's pretty cool. I like seeing that. Your coordinates are right here, like we were talking about earlier. It's got an alarm clock built into it. You can use it as an alarm clock. It's got a stopwatch feature. So if you like running or doing track or anything, or you know, just whatever you want to use a stopwatch for. Got a button here for adventures. So I don't really know how to use that one, but you can read up on it. Yeah, it's got a calculator. Pretty much is a phone, really. You can have it paired with your phone, actually, and your text messages. If you don't want to be pulling your phone out, but you still want to see your messages that are coming through, you can have it paired Bluetooth with your phone. And all your text messages that come through to your phone will actually show up on your screen. So, if you're into that, I personally don't have that turned on. I'm not really into that. So.
There's reasons I can see why you might want that, and like you said, it is nice. You don't have to take your phone out. You already have it. I mean, you might have a lanyard on it anyway. You can pull it up, check that if you need to check it. You might be connected for someone for a reason. You could be out in the woods and someone could be meeting you. This way, you know you'll get your text messages that way without pulling your phone out. If you're using that method. I mean, obviously you have to have cell service. I mean, they might be calling you, but anyway, it's not a bad feature to have.
Yeah.
So.
Another thing you can do is a route planner. You can plan a route, right? It says create route. If you go back, proximity alarms. Can't talk today. You can create the alarm. So I don't know exactly what this feature does, but if I'm to guess, I'm imagining you can set boundaries on where you don't want to go, and if you get close to that, the GPS the alarm will go off to let you know. That's just my guess with it.
We'll look into that more. We're going to do a more in-depth review. We're going to do some more testing with it, and we want to check out some of the other features. I really want to try geocaching to see how well it does in that case, and help me find a few more. And we'll check out some other features, but so far, I mean, have you been happy with it?
Absolutely. It does everything I need it to do. Like I said, tracking, setting my waypoints, and they all saved. They're all still there. I can go back to the same section of woods that I go in, and I go in dense woods, guys. I'm talking thick cover, rabbit cover, spruce trees. Like I'm in dense woods, so it's got a cape over top of this, you know. So the signal's still getting through. It's still working great, saving my waypoints. I have nothing bad to say about this, especially for the price. Like I said, I got a mid-range GPS without the mid-range price. If you're just using it for setting waypoints and tracking, you could absolutely get away with the eTrex 10 or something similar to it. The only reason I bought this, again, is for the price. Regular $459 or $479, on for $279 plus tax. eTrex 10 retails for what?
120, 140, somewhere around there.
120 or 140. So
it's 140.
A bit more for the 64SX, but you're getting quite a bit more features in it. So if you don't care about those features, eTrex 10 will do the job for you.
Actually looking at 150, so actually that's a really good bargain for your 64.
Yeah, there you go. So 150 for the eTrex 10. That's what it retails for. And this was $279, which goes on sale quite often. It's been on sale 3 times since I bought it. Cabela's, check it out.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Not at all. It'd be nice. That would absolutely be nice. Cabela's, Bass Pro. But yeah, we're not sponsored by them. Just 2 guys with an honest review. Absolutely, I recommend this 100%. I'm in the woods all the time. It's never got me lost. It's always brought me back to my vehicle. It's always got me home to the dinner table, which is where I always like to be. Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. So we'll have a more in-depth review later on. We'll check out some of the features. If there's something you really want tested out, want us to look through and explain more, make a comment down below, and we'll check that out and we'll put that into the next video.
Yeah, maybe we can get out in the field.
We'll get some
mark some waypoints and show you guys how to mark them and backtrack with the unit.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So
sounds good to me.
So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Take care, guys.